Welcome to part 3 of this 5-part wood-fired oven masterclass series where I sit down in the United Kingdom and talk to David Jones from the Manna from Devon Cooking School. If you haven't listened to the previous episodes in this series, I suggest you start with these first. Manna from Devon specialise in teaching wood-fired oven cooking techniques to folks from all around the world. In part 3 of this masterclass series, we pick up where we left off last episode and discuss baking the perfect Tarte Tatan, experimenting with rabbit, lamb, kleftiko, and one of my all-time favourites, lahmacun. We also chat about 3 incredible books Holly and David have authored, which of course you can treat yourself to and purchase today after listening to the episode. We also discuss some of David's favourite published recipes, including some delicious fish dishes, something I've promised my wife Rachel I'll do a little more of. Then we get down to business, the Manna from Devon wood-fired oven kitchen tour. You've been waiting for it, where we chat about David's cooking gear and his wood-fired ovens. David has quite a few. I'll keep the exact number a little secret for now. It may surprise you. You can find out more about this wonderful wood-fired oven cooking school by checking out their website, mannafromdevon.com. I'll leave a bunch of links to their website, books, and online courses in the show notes. If you would like to become a supporter of the Wood-Fired Oven podcast, please consider it. That's much appreciated. Head over to woodfiredoven.cooking/support, where I have left a few options for you to consider. Okay, sit back, relax, and join me as we continue this incredible 5-part wood-fired oven masterclass series with David Jones.
Hi, this is Ben.
This is Adrian.
This is Clive.
This is David Jones from the Manna from Devon Cooking School, and you are listening to the Wood-Fired Oven podcast with Mark Goston.
The United Kingdom is a gorgeous place. Lush green rolling hills, gorgeous meandering rivers, and stunning wild coastlines. About 4.5 hours southwest of London lies Kingswear in South Devon, a particularly stunning area, so much so in fact that it holds national status in the UK as a designated area of outstanding natural beauty, and I can see why. I've travelled here from Brisbane, Australia to visit today's very special guests. David and Holly Jones own and operate the well-known Manna from Devon Cooking School, located near the beautiful River Dart. They have been teaching folks from all around the world wood-fired oven cooking techniques for over 15 years in this amazing place. So I am very excited to chat with David today. They are also authors of 3 gorgeous wood-fired oven cookbooks, which I discussed back in Season 2, Episode 3 of the show. And that's a good smoking wood too. I've never used oak for smoking. Is that got a nice... it's a bit hard for us to get down in our part of the world.
Yeah. Very traditional smoking wood in the UK. So, lots of the fish smokeries that still exist and once used to be prolific, smoking all the oily fish around the coast, which are not so prolific anymore. But a lot of that would have been done on oak as a very traditional smoking wood.
Right.
And, I mean, everybody used to smoke with the wood that was locally available.
Yeah.
That's how it all. Yeah. That's how it happened. Yeah. So,
but you mentioned hickory too. You probably don't have much hickory around here, do you?
No.
I know where that's
I just think hickory and poultry are delicious.
Oh yeah, hickory's great.
So,
that's probably my favourite smoking wood actually.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. So now of course we can go online and we can get pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So if I want macadamia wood, I can get macadamia wood.
Applewood. I like applewood. Applewood's nice.
Yeah. Another traditional UK wood.
Is it?
Yeah. Right. From orchards and cherry.
Yeah. And cherry, I've used cherry a few times. It's nice as well. Yeah. Bit harder to get for us, but that's quite traditional here, is it? Cherry.
Oh yeah. In the southeast in Kent, there are big cherry orchards. We're in the southwest, so not down here, but in the south.
On the other side,
there traditionally lots of cherry orchards.
Okay.
So they use cherry.
Oh, right. Okay, so we've done a lot of food in your course. We've finished off with some dessert. Just tell me again what you finished the course with your desserts. You talked about flans, I think, did you mention?
So we cook a Tarte Tatan regularly.
Yeah.
And, a Tarte Tatan is kind of rustic. It is tolerant, but it looks, when you turn out a Tarte Tatan,
it looks amazing.
And the pastry is brown and golden, and the apples have softened and melted down and have soaked up all of that caramel. It just looks like nothing on earth.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
even though it's quite a rustic dish, really, it looks pretty.
It'd be pretty popular,
awesome.
I would imagine.
And if you got the temperature a tiny bit wrong, So you scorch the top of the pastry. Doesn't matter because you kind of knock off the worst of it and then you turn it over.
And it looks great
the top
anyway.
Looks fantastic.
That's right.
Yeah.
What sort of pastry is it?
You can just use a roll of puff pastry.
Okay.
A shop bought puff pastry. Mm-hmm. We use a very quick rough puff pastry. Mm. It's actually Delia Smith's Cheats rough puff pastry.
Is it? Okay.
And you grate frozen butter into flour and coat all the butter with flour and then cold water, mix it all together. It's done.
Amazing.
And it's fantastic.
Is it good?
And it goes really crisp. It's pretty high fat, so it goes nice and crisp. Makes the best pastéis de nata, Portuguese egg custard tarts.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Gosh, doesn't it?
And makes a really great Tarte Tatan. Yeah, and you get this lovely soft melting apple against crisp pastry.
Oh, fantastic. Great. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty hungry now.
Yeah.
So
doing something sweet in the oven is another thing for a lot of people, which is revelationary. Yeah.
I mean, these things are so versatile, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
That's great. Yeah, fantastic. All right. So obviously going to come away from your courses, like I said before, with lots of tips and lots of tricks and things. I'm going to go home and I'm going to forget it all very quickly unless I've got something written down. So we've mentioned before, David, that you're both authors. I find that really exciting. It's on my bucket list one day. I've got 3 of your books in front of me here. Tell me about them.
Okay, well, the first book, the Wood-Fired Oven Cookbook, came about because we were approached by a publisher who said, will you please write this, or would you be happy to write an oven about wood-fired cooking?
So when did you write this cookbook?
So this was written in 2010, which was really only 2 or 3 years after we'd started teaching wood-fired cooking.
Okay.
So it was pretty early for us. But
it's
again,
a beautiful book. Beautiful.
Like a lot of other things, when the publisher said, will you write this cookbook? We said yes. Yes.
Are you pleased you said yes?
Yes, most definitely. And although it was a deal where we wrote the book for cash and haven't had a royalty, nevertheless, the kudos that book has given us has been amazing because they sell it worldwide. We have had messages from all over saying we love this cookbook and it's really helped us. And it keeps getting republished and sold, so it's been a fantastic success.
It really is.
Us.
And there's a great section at the start of this book about all the different tools and equipment that can help folks with their wood-fired ovens. It's a fantastic instructional book, as well as filled with some fantastic recipes. Have you got some favorites?
Yeah, and as like everything else, in it we've tried to emphasize that it's not a pizza oven. So there's sections on bread, there's meat, there's fish, there's sweet stuff, there's all sorts of things in there that hopefully explain to people that it's a versatile piece of kit. That's what we really wanted to get over. And the reason we ended up cooking it, funnily enough, is because the guy who they first approached and said yes thought it was going to be all about bread.
Oh,
and then they said, no, it's got to be about everything. Yeah. And he said, I really only do bread.
Oh, no.
And that guy was poor Mary from the Panery, who had taught me the bread making class, which had...
Really?
Yeah, funny coincidence.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, amazing.
This looks like a lahmacun.
But
is this a lahmacun?
It is, yeah.
Middle Eastern spice. We've done this in our wood-fired oven a couple of times. Lahmacun.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of lahmacun with
delicious, isn't it? Amazing.
Lemons over the top and parsley. It's so
bit of
simple.
chili.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And when we've done pizza, like family pizza nights here with folks, we'll quite often do one of those. We give the kids, all the cheesy and tomato and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's grown-up pizza, which is the lahmacun.
It's good, isn't it? Oh, I think it's so good.
Yeah.
It's just bangers and mash. Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash. Do it. Yeah, keep it simple.
Yeah.
The other recipe I really like in there, and which we've done many times, is lamb kleftiko. And it is just a recipe which is made for a wood-fired oven.
So explain that dish. What is it?
So lamb kleftiko is basically lamb in a pot with some potatoes and some lemon and some oregano.
Oh, it sounds good.
kind of
Greek?
dish.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
And the kleftiko bit is thieves' lamb.
Oh, does it?
And the idea was, the legend has it, that bandits made this dish where they'd sort of put that all together in a pot, stick it in the oven, seal up the door with clay so there was no smoke or anything coming from it, and then they could go off and not be detected.
Is that right?
As legend has it.
Lovely
Legend
romantic.
has it.
That's fantastic.
But you basically, you put it in a pot, you put it all together, you put it in the oven for 3 or 4 hours, and you come back, and the lamb is falling off the bone.
Oh, stop
and
it.
It's all been flavoured with
fantastic.
a little wine and oregano and garlic and lemon.
Okay.
And it's just delicious. Yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Goodness.
And it's just a simple, put it all together, put it in the oven, and forget about it kind of a dish.
Great.
Yeah.
How long would that cook for?
3 to 5 hours.
Lovely slow cooked dish.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Rabbit. Is
Yeah.
rabbit widely eaten in the UK?
Not widely. I was brought up with eating rabbit from time to time.
Yeah.
Because people would bring some to my father didn't shoot, but people would drop some off
Yeah.
at the house.
Nice.
My mother would sort them out.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So can you go down
have-
to your local
we'd
butcher
have
here and buy rabbit?
No, not so much.
No.
There will be game dealers
Okay.
that will do it, but you don't see them widely. You see them frozen sometimes, farmed,
Yep.
frozen.
I tried to get some rabbit. So for those listening, page 74, rabbit stew with apricots and white wine. That is my kind of food right there. I really enjoy rabbit. A couple of months ago in my local butcher in Brisbane, they're very anti-rabbit in Queensland where we live. They just, you're not allowed to keep them as pets or anything like that. You're fined if you keep them as pets.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing. Very anti-rabbit. But as a result, there's very little rabbit around. I asked the butcher if he could order me some rabbit. He said, yes, that'd be great. I'll give you a phone call. I never got the phone call. He never got them for me. Because there are some dishes that I would love to do with rabbit. And I haven't had it in years, but I remember growing up having rabbit and just really, really enjoyed it. So I did see this.
There's no shortage of rabbit around.
No, there's a lot.
There's a lot of rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
And farmers are shooting it, I'm
They
sure.
are, yeah.
So you think there'd be some rabbit about, but we don't get to see it very often.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the your first book, Wood-Fired Oven Cookbook by Holly and David Jones.
Yeah.
Beautifully photographed as well. What book came next?
So next we spoke to that publisher again and said, how about a follow-on?
Yeah.
And actually initially they contacted us and said, how about a follow-on? And we did start putting together an idea, and then they backed off from it, actually.
Okay, right.
And they said that we didn't want to do a follow-on. Because it is a niche. I mean, even though that book has been tremendously popular, we're still in a niche.
Yeah, yeah.
So they said no to that. So fair enough. And then we thought, well, we'll write our own and we'll self-publish our own book.
Fantastic.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We thought.
So tell me about that process, because that's what you did with book number 2, was it? You self-published.
That's right.
How did you go about doing that?
Well, first of all, of course, you've got to decide your subject. And we did the wood-fired flatbreads and pancakes. And
This is a great book. I think it's fantastic.
And Holly wanted to do pizza.
Okay.
And I just thought, there's so many books on pizza in the market. Let's not be that obvious. We'll showcase some of the other wonderful examples of flatbreads from around the world and some of the things that we've tasted and not do that. And maybe we're even more niche than pizza would have been. But anyway, it was fun to do. But to publish that book, you've got to decide on the recipes and bring all that together. Find a photographer. We found a fantastic photographer. Find a designer. We knew someone, a graphics person, friend who has helped us with lots of things, and he was very happy to pull that together. And then you've got to find a printer, and we found a printer based in Malta, funnily enough.
Malta, did you?
Yeah.
Nothing local
who
then?
would do some self-publishing.
Goodness.
And then there's a lot of toing and froing. So obviously you've got to write all the recipes. Holly does all of that.
Does she?
Legend. She has the concentration and focus to do that, and I do not.
You do the testing and the cooking, yes.
And then you've got to say, right, then we're going to do all the cooking and photograph all of that. So we get Nick Hook in for several days to come and photograph, and he's just a fantastically easy guy to work with.
His photographs are amazing. He's done a
really brilliant.
Job. Yeah.
Really brilliant. Yeah. And we're frantically cooking everything and photographing, and hopefully not taking too long about all that, but it's a time-consuming process.
Yeah. And, so how many recipes would there be in this book here? There's heaps. It's a huge
24.
Yeah, right.
I quite remember now.
That's a lot of flat breads for your photographer to eat in a couple of days.
And these are really all breads with a bit of a, that we know and love for some reason or other.
Yeah.
So that's what we wanted to do, was to kind of talk about that and say it's not all pizza. There's a heap of other things. Bread-wise, you could be doing flatbread-wise. You could be doing in your oven.
Do you have a favourite in here that you like?
I think the stuffed paratha. I don't know where that comes, but stuffed paratha. Just we spent a month or so in India. And we arrived at 2 a.m. or something and got up to breakfast of stuffed paratha and pickles. And
it sounds divine.
That just is now in my head as the ultimate start. We knew we were in India. Stuffed paratha.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's such a versatile thing. You can stuff a paratha with anything.
Okay.
Sweet, savoury,
they are right,
meat, vegetable, and suddenly what was just a simple piece of bread now has become this wonderful flavoursome thing with whatever you want to put inside it.
Well, they look amazing.
Totally different.
Oh my gosh, look at them.
And it's also we've done it a lot with groups because it's just a fun little kind of technical challenge to fill and roll and not have it explode. And
you're cooking this in a is this one of your cast iron or was that
just in a little skillet?
Yeah, okay.
Steel.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
with some ghee or some oil.
Yeah. They look divine, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was book number 2 that came out, self-published.
Yeah.
And did that work out better for you, self-publishing long term, your own product, as opposed to going through a publishing in book number 1?
Well, the publisher has better channels of distribution and publicity and all of that than we do. So, that book gets published, the first one, the general one gets printed and goes on sale and sells out, and then they print it again, and there's a time lag, and it appears again, and off we go again.
Yeah.
Whereas ours, we had to have quite a lot printed.
Yeah, right.
Just to make it economical.
Yeah, sure.
So we've got a basement full of books, and they sell. They sell steadily.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Okay, book number 2. Book number 3 comes along.
Yeah.
And when did you do book 3?
This must be 2018.
Okay, yeah, 2018-ish?
2018-ish.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And this book is all about?
Fish and seafood.
Fish and seafood, my favourite.
Yeah.
Okay. But has this been popular?
That has been very popular.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a joy to cook such a wide variety of different dishes. We've always cooked a lot of fish, done lots of fish classes here. So to be able to use some of that and show off the wood-fired oven and the awesome fish ingredients that you get around here was amazing. And
the photos in here are incredible as well. Still, they're just wonderful photographs.
Same photographer, same process.
Yep.
Same toing and froing, back and forward, proofreading, all done by Holly.
That's a heck of an effort.
You wouldn't want me proofreading.
No, that's right.
Anything.
Well, a particular favourite in here?
Particular favourite in there would be, I think the roast scallops I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. I saw a photo of that just
always
before.
fantastic.
They look pretty good.
And I think, just roasted fish with a little butter and wine. So sole menuire, or do that with a little bit of brill or something.
Fabulous. Does
the
sound
most
good.
wonderful thing.
Yeah, it does
and
sound-
again, simple.
Yeah.
Like my kleftiko thing, I don't really like fussy recipes.
Okay.
That require a lot.
All right.
So dust a piece of fish with some flour.
Yeah.
Get it in a pan with get some oil and butter in a pan foaming. Pop it in there. Baste. Flip it over. Baste. Stick it on a plate. Pour some wine in the pan. Reduce that. Pour that over the top.
Yeah.
Done.
Does that sound pretty good, Rachel?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay.
Just the
All right.
most-
I promise in front of David,
Just
I'll cook
the
you some
most
fish.
amazing thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And if someone said, here's a brill, what are you going to do with that?
That would be
exactly
the way
what
to do
I'd
it.
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Book number 4. What's it going to be?
Book number 4
Yeah.
may or may not appear.
Okay. You might have done your dash.
Well, it's an expensive and time-consuming process, and there's certainly no immediate financial payback for it. And
You've done a good effort here, though. Three wonderful books is fantastic.
and the idea was that we would do a series of those, and if they sold faster, we probably might have done.
Yeah, right.
And the next one would have been
Yeah.
poultry, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But I think our wider audience is probably on social media, on YouTube,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. So I think we'll put our effort into that and to increasing that.
So you're talking about your online courses here. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, initially just the freebie stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which actually has got a really good following, and lots of people come on classes following up from that.
Yeah.
And say, I've been following you on YouTube, I've been wanting to come on a class.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Your
So we
production
know
value
that.
of your videos are very, very good.
Oh,
Are you
thank
doing
you
it
very much.
all of yourself?
Well, we started with a crew
Yep.
coming in who were great. And then during COVID, actually, we had to do it all ourselves.
Yeah,
so we invested in a bit of kit
Yep.
and invested in a new computer and editing software.
Yep.
Holly taught herself patiently to use the editing software.
Yeah.
And we started doing our own.
That's
and we
great.
did a load during lockdown. And since then, actually, we haven't done very much at all because it just got too busy after that.
Everyone wants to come back to courses in person.
But the plan is to get back into that because it just connects us. Anybody can look at that from anywhere in the world. And we've had messages from all over
That's just brilliant.
from people who are watching those videos.
Yeah.
And that's great to see. And the investment is less than in a book. And actually, I mean, we don't get to sell those videos. And YouTube, bless them, don't give us a whole
No.
hill of beans either.
No.
But it connects us to a wider audience.
Yeah, it's
I think.
great.
Yeah.
And so, leveraging off that success with your YouTube, you have gone down the line of online video courses.
Yes.
And that was born out of COVID in some respects, was it?
Well, I think we talked about it for a long time, recognizing that we are, here in one location, and there's an audience which is potentially worldwide who aren't going to come here. So how do we reach them? So we've created some online classes, which basically are classes that we would run here all videoed and available online on an online platform. And
Where would people go to find those online courses? What's the website?
Podia is the platform.
Podia. Yep.
And if they search for Manna from Devon on Podia, we've got a pizza masterclass and a refractory oven class and a steel oven class and a
Fantastic.
Morso oven class.
Yeah, great. Well, we'll leave links in the show notes to Manna from Devon on Podia as well. So mannafromdevon.com, and you'll find these online courses there.
Yeah.
So they're very much what one could expect if they actually came here, but obviously a bit more condensed. Is that how you've laid them out?
They are, exactly. And without the tasting. Without the
no smell-o-vision.
Exactly. So if we could learn everything from watching things, we'd all be master chefs, wouldn't we? Because we've all seen MasterChef.
Yeah, that's right.
So actually people coming to us and really kind of experiencing it sends them away, I think, with a lot more understanding and a lot more enthusiasm than watching it on the video.
What's the feedback been like from folks who have signed up for the course?
They've been very good.
You've been very happy with it?
Yeah. And, the things I've taught myself from watching YouTube is amazing.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
it's great.
there's a few fantastic wood-fired oven folks on YouTube.
Yeah, really are.
really are.
Yeah. And we've had people, we see people, come back and get the next course and the next course. And
It's great, isn't it?
yeah, so that has been really good.
Yeah.
And they are far flung, of course.
Yeah. Well, you've diversified well with your books, your in-person classes, your online courses. It's great.
Well, you've got to keep trying.
Well, you do,
You've
don't
got to
you?
keep trying.
And we were talking earlier that before we came on air that my wife and I, we run an online education company back in Australia, and you have to diversify. You have to. Technology changes too, and we've been doing it for about a decade now. And technology changes, platforms change. Software editing changes, and even for this podcast, learning the latest audio editing software, it's a big learning curve. And it is for video. It's a solid effort to go down the video route because that's a steep learning curve. So you've done well.
Yeah, and for me, it I don't enjoy it as much at all standing in front of a camera because when you've got a group of people there, it's immediate. It is you feed off their feedback.
Yeah,
so whether it's just seeing people nodding or them asking questions, that kind of fires you up.
Yeah,
Trying to reproduce that in front of a camera.
Yes, it's hard, isn't it? The energy. And it's similar. Like, I've done these interviews in person and I've done these interviews online using some software online. I far prefer to sit across the table and chat with guys like yourself in person. It's so much more interesting to do.
Yeah,
it's great.
Just want to take a quick moment during this episode and express my gratitude to all those wonderful folks who have reached out and financially supported the show. It only takes a few small coins, the equivalent of shouting me a coffee or lunch, to make a big difference to the future viability of the show. If you would like to become a supporter of the Wood Fired Oven podcast, please head over to woodfiredoven.cooking/support, where there are a few options you can choose from. I've left links in the show notes. Special shout out this week to Jim and Adrian for supporting the show recently. I'm very grateful to you for your generous support. Thanks to all my supporters. You are all legends to me. Okay, let's get back to the show.
Okay. Kitchen tour. I need to have a good tour of your kitchen now. Is that okay? Can we stand up and have a wander around and explain your kitchen to the listeners?
Definitely.
All right. Okay, so we are in your outdoor kitchen for real now, and on the right-hand side, I'm looking at a whole bunch of black pans up on the wall. Tell me what I'm looking at.
Okay, so this is our array, our collection of pans, which have come from a wide variety of places, and they're the sort of things that we throw in and out of the ovens. And they get rather battered. They get discolored when the oven is really hot and smoky. So they tend to be black for that reason. But they're well used. They've got lots of scrapes and scratches on the bottom, but a lovely patina
gorgeous, aren't they? Yeah.
non-stick surface on the inside. And we've got, I've got this really solid cast iron pan here, which is from my auntie.
Oh, lovely. We didn't break it.
No. And it's a sort of heritage piece which gets handed down from family to family when your wrist gets too weak to lift it.
Oh, does it? It's got a very long handle on it, hasn't it? Which is perfect.
Absolutely weighs
that's fantastic. Yeah,
weighs
nice.
a ton.
Yeah, nice.
I've also got these really lovely French crepe pans.
Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they?
And
very shallow, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Spun steel. They're brilliant for all sorts of flatbreads and pancakes.
About the size of a saucer, and it's it's beautiful. Beautiful patina on it. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
But really solid. Never going to buckle.
Yeah.
These steel Cadai pans with two handles that you can spin round in the oven are really useful.
Yeah, very good.
Because if we have got pans with handles, and they're great if you're just tossing around a few prawns or stirring something. But if you're cooking something, often the heat in the oven is asymmetric because you've got fire on one side or at the back. So you need to spin things around.
Yep.
So double-handled pans are great.
So looking at your oven here, you can probably reach inside your oven and spin this by hand.
Yeah.
Is that what you normally do? So in my oven at home, there is once it's in the oven, it's probably a metre and a half
to the back of my oven. And so I have to use a hook to do it. And if I didn't have...
I've got one of those.
Oh, yes, you do. If I didn't have a hook to spin it, I wouldn't be able to spin it. So it's very handy to have these handles or hooks on the side.
Yeah.
Do you find you tend to use these more than...
Yeah, definitely.
The long-handled ones?
Yeah. I've got a waffle pan, a waffle iron.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I haven't got one of
Wood-fired
those.
waffles, fantastic.
Waffle. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, little patty tins.
Yep.
These are really great. They've got a wonderful non-stick surface, and they're fairly heavy, so they don't buckle.
Oh yeah, they are too. And what would you cook in these?
Yorkshire puddings.
Oh yeah.
Little egg cups for breakfast.
Yeah, nice.
Egg and bacon cups. Yes, paddy pan pakora. I've got a Tuscan grill.
Oh yes, you do too. Fabulous.
Need a Tuscan grill.
Oh, you sure do.
And a grill basket to sit on top.
Right.
Of the Tuscan grill for roasting veggies.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Old roasting tins of various sorts.
They're not cast iron, are they?
No. These are just old.
Regular old from the oven.
Old steel roasting tins.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So is this the sort of tin you were talking about doing some smoking in?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly
it's
that.
Great. I must try it. It's great.
Yeah. And I've also got some nicer cast iron there. Mm-hmm. Some nice
enamelled finish.
Cast iron pots.
Yeah, very nice.
Brilliant for those dishes. When the oven is cooler and you're just going to put it in there and forget about it for a few hours. And oven to table.
Yeah, it's great.
With those.
And all of these are
nice.
Up on the wall as well, which is a great place for them. I've got mine on a couple of outdoor shelves outside, and it's nice to see them up on the wall, nice and easy to handle and to choose and to see them as opposed to being in a big stack like mine. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So that's your implement wall there, and if we moving to our left now, we come across the first of your wood-fired ovens here. So what are we looking at here?
So this is a small refractory masonry oven, 60 centimeter internal diameter.
That's a good size.
Yeah. It looks like it's got a kind of brick effect on the outside, but that is in fact a glass reinforced concrete shell, which fits over the top because this oven is made by a guy called J. Emery at Bushman Wood-Fired Ovens, based in the Midlands in the UK, South African guy, enormously enthusiastic, enormously knowledgeable about wood-fired ovens and everything about them. Very, very proud of his product and careful to keep developing it, and this is a fairly sort of modern iteration of the wood-fired oven in that it comes in a box of bits.
Does it?
You put all the bits together yourself.
So a bit of DIY. And
so a bit of DIY. It comes with a little video card.
What does it?
That you just open up and it plays with the instructions of how to put it together.
Is that right?
So it's kind of an IKEA solution.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And it means that if you live in a house with a side passageway, you can take all the pieces through, and then when you're in the spot where you're going to put the oven, you just build it in situ, as opposed to the enormous oven turning up on the roadside that you ordered off the internet.
Oh, yeah.
And then you thinking, well, what do I do with it now?
That's exactly right. When mine turned up, it was 1 ton on a pallet, and they managed to put it up the driveway, and then I deconstructed the pallet and about 10 bricks at a time on my wheelbarrow around the backyard. It took all day, but it was fun. Yeah. But this is great. 60 centimetres on the base. That's a good size oven for a lot of folk, I would have thought.
For a domestic oven, it is. I think a lot of people look at a 60 centimetre oven and think it's not very big. I want a bigger oven because they've seen one on TV or in a restaurant or something, and they think, well, surely bigger is better. And actually, a 60 centimetre oven takes minimal amount of fuel to heat it up. But still, if it's a good oven, and this is definitely a very good oven, still has fantastic heat retention.
Yeah, that's right.
So I can fire this oven up and I can cook. On one firing of the oven, I can cook for 12 hours for sure.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
But that one firing has only taken a small amount of fuel. And also I can have it up to temperature in 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's quick.
Easily.
That's really quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So to give comparison to that, my 105 centimeter brick oven, that's going to take me about 2.5 hours to get up to piping hot temperatures. I don't mind that, but if you need to do it quick, this is a great option. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just makes it, I think, more spontaneous.
Yeah.
So, you've got to plan ahead with your oven.
Absolutely.
With this oven, you can come home from work in the evening, think, well, it's a nice evening, I'm going to fire up the oven.
Yeah.
By the time you load up the oven, you light the fire, by the time you've gone back in and organised some food, your oven's ready to go.
That's great. We have a lot of nice evenings in Brisbane, though.
Okay.
I'm not sure about let's not talk about the rain here. Okay, that's great. Okay. Now, on the other side of your bench here, these beautiful tiles, I really like that. You've got another wood-fired oven, and that's another Bushman, by the looks.
So the same manufacturer, but this one was built in his factory and then brought down here and lowered into place by the builders merchants Hiab. So this weighed 500 kilos when we got it.
Yeah.
It's 82 centimetre internal diameter, and it's a slightly more serious bit of kit.
It's a beast, isn't it?
But
it's a gorgeous oven.
Doesn't take a huge amount of heating up.
Yep.
Certainly cooks for 18, maybe even 24 hours after a firing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and it is just, we've had this quite a long time now. It must be getting on for 10 years. It is absolutely bomb-proof. It has been so reliable, so easy to fire up, so stable in temperature. I love it.
It's gorgeous. The internal dome, what's it made from?
So that's a refractory concrete.
Through. Yeah, it's great. Have you had to paint the outside a few times in that time?
Yeah. So it came just as a sort of natural concrete sort of colour. We initially painted it white, and it looked fantastic painted white.
It would.
However, it smudged really quickly. So then it didn't look so great. So it's had a few recoatings, and basically I now coat it with whatever's left over in a tin from the last household DIY. And when it starts to look a bit smudged again, I just give it another coat.
And the case.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider supporting the show at woodfiredoven.cooking/support. There are links in the show notes. This support helps to bring more great Wood-Fired Oven podcast episodes out to you. Remember, a few small coins makes a big difference to the show. Sign up online at woodfiredoven.cooking and receive our free Wood-Fired Oven resources pack. Follow me on Instagram at marks_woodfiredoven for recipes, tips and techniques to supercharge your fire cooking skills. Join our Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles Facebook group and meet some amazing fire cooking enthusiasts. Thanks for listening to this episode. Catch you next time. Stay safe, have fun, and go cook with fire.